Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat right here on ET Now, a show where we get you all the stocks that are moving based on news and technicals. First 30 minutes of the show is done. Now we have the rest 30 minutes, and to join us for the rest 30 minutes, we have Ashish Kyal joining us on the show right now. Very good afternoon to you, Ashish. Thank you so much for joining us on ET Now. And let me come first to you and let's talk about Kotak Mahindra Bank. Earlier on, we had Kunal on the show who spoke about HDFC Bank, and now you've picked Kotak Mahindra Bank. And if you look at the private banks, they're actually underperforming the PSU banking names. Where do you see Kotak Mahindra Bank headed from here on? They are not doing anything much. Do you think that this particular counter will be able to now come out of that consolidatory phase and move higher?
Not really, because if you look at Kotak Bank, the prior low was around 1750 and it's right now trading and below that 1750 mark also. So the trend looks to be bearish as of now over short term. I think it is better to be on the sell side. We can expect the stock to bottom out around 1710 levels. So the overall trend is bearish for 1710 as the target. On the upside, the mean hurdle is going to be 1775. So as long as it's trading below that level, I think we can see further lower levels from here on.
Okay, let's move on to the next one, and that is Vedanta. This stock is in focus today. Why? Because it's near, and this is according to reports, that it's nearing a deal in terms of a spin-off of its businesses, which it has spoken about in terms of the four entities that will be listed separately, and that's going to be a restructuring that they are going to be following as well. Now, on the back of this news for today, we've seen Vedanta was buzzing in trade, but yes, given up all those morning gains. Now, furthermore, in terms of what the reports are also suggesting, is that the company has informed the lenders of the restructuring and could announce the plans in the coming days as well. And businesses include aluminium, oil and gas, iron ore, steel, and that will be separately listed, is what the reports are suggesting. So, on the back of this news flow, let's keep an eye out on Vedanta Limited. Yesterday, we've seen Vedanta fall in trade because obviously Moody's had actually come out with a downgrade for Vedanta recently. But today, slight bit of a recovery we saw coming in this news flow. As of now, holding on to gains of 4%.
All right, moving on, let's talk about Gensol Engineering, because that particular counter was soaring in trade today. 5% uptick is what Gensol Engineering had actually logged in. Right now, it's given up some of those gains, still holding on to gains of approximately 2% as we speak. The reason why the stock has actually seen an uptick, because they said that the unit Gensol EV Lease has bagged an order of more than 500 of Tata Motors' Tata Ace Cargo electric vehicles. They're saying that the order value is at around 75 crore rupees with more than 20 EVs already leased. If you look at the stock price, right now the stock is gaining for a second consecutive session, and on back of this particular order, the stock is buzzing in trade in an otherwise very weak market.
Okay, let's come back, and Ashish, coming on to you again. Indiabulls Real Estate, that's the stock that you have picked out for us. And you know, a lot of technical analysts are actually showing more interest in Indiabulls Real Estate as well. What is your view on Indiabulls Real Estate now? Last 6 months, 74% return. What is the upside you're expecting now?
If you look at the overall sector, that has outperformed, and not only Indiabulls Real Estate, if you look at other sectors also, and if you look at DLF and few other property stocks that have done very well. But Indiabulls Real Estate has continued to show strength in the form of an impulse rise, and I think the up move is still going to be there. The stock is bucking the trend. Even today, if you check, it's not falling as per the broader market, and it is managing to sustain just there. I think it is going to be headed towards the level of around 94 on the upside. That can be the target. And over short term, the stock has an important support placed at around 80.50.
All right, moving on, Lisa, you had when you talk about the EMS themes, but Dixon Tech was not mentioned. You tell us why Dixon Tech is in news today.
Right, so Dixon Tech's arm, that is Padgett Technologies, they have signed a contract with Xiaomi for the smartphone production, and the manufacturing will take place at the Noida facility of Padgett's manufacturing facility, and the management has highlighted that this association will leverage their excellence and superior track record, as well as it represents a major milestone in India's Make in India initiative. And also Padgett Electronics, that is one of the company that has received a PLI approval from the government of India. So Dixon, in early morning trade, it had gained around more than 1%, but then it has fallen in tandem with the overall market, and it also touched a 52-week high in early morning session. So that's Dixon. It's as we can see, it's subdued, and it's down around 1.8% as we speak.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. And L&T, Ashish, we did speak about UBS being positive on this one previously on the show and hiking their target price. What is your target price? Are you too giving L&T a thumbs up?
Absolutely, because this is the stock that has not stopped. It has managed to show exceptional move on the upside. It continued to trade higher. So I'm optimistic about this stock reaching towards the level of around 3,400 as well. So one can go long on L&T, use any dips as a buying opportunity for the target of 3,400. And on the downside, one can maintain a stop loss of around 2,900 levels.
All right, so that's the view coming in on L&T. And Harsh, let's talk about CG Consumer. Why is this counter in focus? Rather Crompton. Why is Crompton in focus?
Well, yes. So Crompton largely in focus because they've basically launched a new product with regard in their lighting segment, and you can see that uptake on the back of that. Crompton obviously big in the lighting segment, and this new product should aid sales going forward. In fact, the date of the launch was yesterday, which is 27th of September. The name of the product is the Gleam NXT 70W Floodlight, which they have launched in the outdoor lights B2C category. So on the back of that, you can see that uptick on Crompton.
Let's move on to the next one. Stock number 25 for today coming in from the FMCG pack. That's Marico. Ashish, Marico, in terms of when you look at it to other FMCG companies which already saw very good run up, and now when you look at FMCG, a bit of a subduedness is coming in. But Marico, it's been a different story because it has been moving up now when other FMCG companies are falling. What is the trend that you're picking up in terms of Marico?
Marico was actually doing well, but if you look at today's movement, I think Marico is showing a very steep decline after touching the levels of 585, and it is already down by more than 20 points from there. So the overall short term, I think there can be some kind of a dip that can be expected in Marico. We can move towards the level of 555 on the downside, which is an important price action support area. So the near term trend remains little bearish over short term for a 555 target. And on the upside, I think the major hurdle for the stock is around 580 levels.
Okay, let's move on to the next stock that is in focus, and that is DCM Shriram. Why is DCM Shriram today in focus, and why this is picking out and buzzing in trade is that it was up as much as started off midway, and now today, as of now, is trading with gains of 1.5%. And the main news flow that we have today and the buzz behind DCM Shriram is that overall the company has reported that they are securing a sustainability linked loan of around 200 crores from HSBC India, and this is a financial move intended that will be supporting the company in terms of the ongoing capital expenditures program that is in Gujarat as well. So because of that, we are seeing DCM Shriram that is in focus today, opened up with 0.5% gains, now picked up traction and up with 1.5% gains as of now.
All right, moving on, let's talk about KSB, because that particular counter is in focus on back of slew of order wins that is actually bagged. Just short while ago, the company said they bagged an order worth about 55 crore rupees. Earlier on, yesterday, the company reported that they've bagged an order worth about 27.8 crore rupees. And this particular order that they've got, the letter of award, is also a big noteworthy award. Rather noteworthy order. Even today, they bagged an order worth about 55 crore rupees just a short while ago. On back of slew of order wins, you can see the stock actually perked up in trade, approximately 3% as we speak.
Okay, let's move on to the next stock that is in focus. And Ashish, you picked out Triveni for us. What is the chart actually indicating now for Triveni? Where do you see it moving from here on?
At Triveni Engineering, the stock has shown a very rise from the lows of around 280 and crossed that 400 mark also, and right now trading around 390 392 levels. So I think the stock overall trend is bullish. We have seen an exceptional rise. Use this kind of dip that you might see as a buying opportunity, and we can expect the stock to reach towards the level of 420. It's managing to protect even its 10 days average and bouncing back from there. So 420 is the target one can maintain, and the 10 days average support is lying at 380. So as long as 380 is intact, use dips to buy.
All right, that's the word coming in on Triveni Engineering. But Lisa, let's talk about Info Edge and why is this in news today?
So Info Edge is in focus because the unit of Info Edge, that is Red Start Labs India Limited, the wholly owned subsidiary of Info Edge, they have agreed to invest about $5 lakh in Insights as a service platform, a SaaS platform basically. The name of that platform is SkyServe Inc. So they enable services such as satellite-based edge computed insights for core industries, and also they are solution providers to scale faster and affordable solutions. So SkyServe also feeds multispectral imagery to models deployed on the edge and facilitate timely prediction. So it will bode well for Info Edge overall. And the time period for the completion of this acquisition is 1 month, and the acquisition will be for a full cash consideration. So basis this, Red Star, that is Info Edge subsidiary, they have agreed to acquire around 5,50,000 series pre-seed preferred stock, and the post this investment, the aggregate shareholding of the company, that will be around 5.5%. So that is why Info Edge is in focus. But the stock, though it was higher in early morning trade, but in tandem with the overall market, it's trading with a negative bias in today's session.
Let's move on to the next one, and Ashish, you picked out Eris Life Sciences for us. When you look at it, the stock has moved up from around those 550 levels 6 months ago to 850 levels today. Currently at this market price, would you still say it is a good time to buy this one, and we would see a good up move going forward?
Yes, indeed, because see, after the stock touched the levels of 880, which was, I think, approximately in the last week of August. Since then, it was moving in a consolidation phase. So there has been nearly around a month of consolidation and sideways action that we saw, and it's breaking out of that consolidation after such a long time. So the pattern breakout targets on the upside comes to around 890 levels. We can expect it to reach that, and on the downside, the support for the stock is at 800. So as long as 800 is intact, we can expect it to cross 890 also, and possibly move towards 920 levels on the upside.
All right, moving on, let's talk about the new entrant on the last tree, Yatra, then Harsh.
New entrant, as correctly mentioned, Cheryl. In fact, IPO price 142, but it opened up at 130 bucks a share. So well below IPO price, and currently trading, of course, around 5% higher than that number. So it's trading roughly 137 rupees a share at the moment. But of course, Yatra and Focus back, it's down roughly 3% if I calculate it from the IPO price, and around 5% from that bottom where it opened up at. Of course, it made a high of around 138.5. So Yatra and Focus on the back of that.
Surely keeping an eye out on that one. But Ashish, an auto stock that you picked out for us, M&M. What is it that you're picking up in terms of the technical levels, and what is it that we should watch out for here now?
The M&M is also showing some kind of a decline over past few days, and it also broke below the 20 days average now. So there looks like profit booking happening at the higher levels. We can expect the stock to move towards the level of around 1480 on the downside as of now. There can be further profit booking possible in the stock, as long as on the upside 1590 level remains intact. So I would use this opportunity to ride the trend over short term on towards 1480 with a stop loss of 1590.
Let's move on and talk about Barbecue Nations. Why is this one in focus today? Actually, this news flow came in yesterday during market hours as well. But we're seeing an up move in the stock today as well, where you're seeing Barbecue Nations Hospitality and Red Apple Kitchen Consultancy, that's Toscano, has said that they've jointly acquiring majority stake in Blue Planet Foods Private Limited. Now, Blue Planet Food Private Limited is a la carte pan-India cuisine restaurant, which is a chain under the brand name of Salt. It was started in 2013. They currently operate in 6 restaurants, and 2 restaurants are under construction as well. So this is going to be between Barbecue Nations as well as Red Apple Kitchen, which will join to acquire 53.3% stake in the company, which is around 23 crore rupees when you look at it of total cash outgo. So yes, on the back of that, we're keeping an eye out on Barbecue Nations. Given up all its morning gains, trading at the day's lowest point as of now, down 1%.
All right, that is Barbecue Nation for you. But let's move on. Let's talk about Birla Soft. Ashish, we've seen the IT sector under pressure, immense pressure rather, in today's trading session. But Birla Soft over the last 6 months has managed to actually climb the wall of worry. Where do you see Birla Soft headed from here on?
The overall pressure that we see is in the large cap space in the IT, and mid cap is still outperformed. So Birlasoft looks like forming a flag kind of a pattern, which is essentially a bullish pattern. There is some pressure that we're seeing in today's session, but I think eventually the stock should manage to move up back towards its previous high of 535. So I'm bullish on this stock, and 535 is my target, as long as on the downside 460, which is a very important support, remains intact.
All right, moving on, let's talk about Cummins India, because that particular counter is in focus in today's trading session. You have a UBS, you have a note that's come out from UBS on Cummins India, where they're maintaining a sell stance on the counter with a target price of 1,350 rupees per share. What UBS is saying that the best phase of the short cycle-led earnings momentum is behind right now, and the fact that the company is going to see more pressure or competition coming in with more peers joining in the CB 4 plus genset club. So on back of that, they are actually pretty subdued on that particular counter. They're saying the exports are incrementally could be at a greater risk, given the fact that you have the competitors or peers also entering that particular space. They're saying that the best of the earnings momentum is behind for the company. They also believe that the earnings upgrade cycle also is behind for the particular stock. What else is UBS saying for Cummins is the fact that they remain positive on Kirloskar Oil Engines domestic revenues. However, for the stock, for Cummins domestic revenues, however, for the stock to outperform the earnings upgrade cycle is key. They are saying exports and margins in UBS's view are two key variables posing near to medium-term risk for Cummins. Therefore, they are maintaining a sell stance, set a target price of 1,350 on the stock, and the stock is sulking in trade.
Let's move on, talk about Aavas financials on the charts then. And Ashish, this one doesn't seem to have done much in the last couple of years as well. What is it that now you're getting in terms of the chart? Could we finally expect an up move to start for Aavas financials?
Looks like, because the volumes are picking up today, there is some selling pressure from the higher point of the day, but I think the stock can start showing some outperformance. We can expect the stock to move towards the level of 1900, as it has managed to break above that 1680, 1690 hurdle. So the target on the upside now is at 1900 levels for the stock, and the support for the stock on the downside is going to be at around 1670. So maintain a stop loss of 1670 for the target of 1900.
All right, so that's the take coming in on Aavas, and with that, we are totally out of time on this edition of Market Fatafat. Thank you so much, Ashish, Kunal, as well as Harsh and Lisa for joining us on the show, for taking our viewers through all the stocks that are buzzing in trade. But